All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Blame Windows. But anyway, so we were talking about how bad shit's going for old Joe right now, and it's somewhere between really bad and really bad. Nobody wants to be seen around him. He can't get legislatively. He can't get a thing passed. I mean, he got infrastructure passed. That's it. That's all he's been able to do. I mean, like, what? Where can old Joe go? Like, what in his legislative arsenal does he have left?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it's not looking too good either way at this point, right? Like, I'm not sure exactly what things they have slated for the future still. I can't say I've kept up that much on the administration, but yeah, I mean, it seems like they've totally just already run out of gas, and it's like,
yeah, I mean,
basically not even quite a year in. Yeah,
we're not even a year.
Yep.
Like, let's see, it will be a year the 21st, so about a week from today, actually. So we can have a fun little celebration about that next week.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely very excited about that. Sorry about that. Let's work on something. Yeah, so and God bless to a certain extent these two, Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin, for just donkey dicking Joe, because they can just do whatever they want. And I just want to do a quick aside here. I just want to do a quick aside. Where are we at on Kristen Sinema? Is that a yes?
It's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna sit there slobbering over it, but like, I mean, I'm not gonna pretend
that's
wouldn't
not
necessarily
a no
either.
That's not a no.
How old is she now? Because that
45.
It's actually younger than I thought, but
yeah,
still, I mean, not a terrible 45.
This was her a little bit younger, which weirdly enough, I think she lost a little bit of weight. She had a big thing at one point about doing these problem classes, but I haven't really seen her doing that anymore. But yeah, I don't know where we're at on her. I mean,
she has kind of a resting bitch face, but like
definite hard resting bitch face, yeah. But even like this, even when she's doing like frumpy, I mean,
sure, like, yeah, it's acceptable for, mid-40s woman, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's a yeah for me. And then Joe Manchin, obviously, that's not even a question. That's a hard yeah. That's a hard yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But oh shit, fucking chlorine factory on fire.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Oh, there's no video. There's no stream.
Yeah, lame.
But yeah. So, and then he comes out and he pushes the rights thing. Now, scuttlebutt, of course, on right-wing Twitter lately has been, we got Naya in the chat with the N. Here, you know what I'm gonna do? You want here, buddy? There you go. Me. Okay, whatever. We tried. There was an effort. But scuttlebutt on right-wing Twitter has been that like the next lateral move for him is going to be instigating something with Russia to take people's mind off of all his domestic fuck-ups. But like at this point, how does he not fuck up Russia? Right?
Right. Yeah.
How does he not also fuck that up and then kind of go like, you just made it worse? Because remember, they tried to deflect from the Afghanistan thing with what did they try and pivot to? I can't remember. But it's like that made it worse.
Yeah.
Then they tried to pivot from that, I think, to was it from Afghanistan to Build Back Better? It could have been.
Right. Something like that.
Yeah, and it's like, that failed. So every pivot just gets worse for him. This speech in Georgia might go down as his worst. Like, yeah, but his base has grown dubious. Like, nobody likes him. You've got you've got the odd simp on Twitter who will weirdly get up there and go, oh, he's the greatest thing to happen to us since Barack Obama.
But those accounts are always like super astroturfed looking.
Oh
too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, or just completely like just the biggest boomer you've ever met.
right.
But oh god damn it! Oh no, it's a big shit. No.
Yeah.
The rightful governor of Georgia, Stacey Abrams, wouldn't show up to meet him. Who is this that showed up? Oh, Andre Dickens. Yeah, well, Kamala doesn't want to be there. Oh shit, don't put her up again. So yeah, I mean, does Joe have a future? I don't know. At this point, does he even make it to midterms?
He's like in such a losing position here that with both other politicians in his party and the media now turning increasingly negative, it's like there's just no momentum at all. Like there's like negative momentum at this point. Like he's long past whatever peak he could have had, and it's just straight down from here. You know, it's like there's a certain kind of flow to these things, right? And so with Trump, for example, there was both the flow in terms of his base getting more and more hyped up for like what he might do, and then there was also the media like Orange Man Bad train that like always intensified.
Oh, well, yeah, and it was so funny because we went forever, like every day it was like, oh, he's the worst president ever. By the way, Joe Biden is now statistically the least popular president in history.
It's funny because about a year ago they were claiming he was the most popular ever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somehow the man who had the most... Yeah, we have now spelled nigh in chat. So good going, beefy boys. Praise science. I'm guessing that's science. Hey, bud. Yes, I mean, he's fucking done, dude. Like, at this point, you just gotta ask, like, are they gonna embarrass themselves through the midterms?
Well, I mean, I don't know how it could not be embarrassing for them at this point. You know, like
let's say, all right, let's war game. Theoretically, you 25th him, and then you've got fucking Kamala, who somehow is even less popular. Okay,
right.
Restart that.
She's less popular, but I guarantee if they had to do that, they would cook up some narrative to try and fix that, and their cope would be at least she's not like dubiously, mentally present, right? Like, because that's the whole issue with Joe at this point, is that like on top of him being just generally unpopular policy wise,
that's what nobody wants to talk about, is that he's losing it.
Right, the whole senility thing is not great for the narrative either.
No, it's not. It's not, is it? But I just don't, because it makes it, you pull him out, it makes them look weak. Then you replace him. And legislatively, she's not doing anything. Nobody, people like her, even less. He had seniority, at least. Like, that's the one thing that old Sniffin' Joe had going for him. He had seniority. Right. And he could theoretically get things done just based on that, because that's a lot of what politics is. It's just who you know and whose dick you're jerking the right way, Right. And Joe, by God, those hands were lubed. But I was about to say, hold on. Wait, maybe Kamala can make something happen here, because we all know. Oh, Kamala.
Jeez, she has the right skill set.
I fucking just rebooted Wide Server, and I can hear that thing screaming in the other room. That thing is loud. Yeah, I don't something weird was going on with that. But anyway, yeah, no, he's done. I think their hubris will force him through midterms, but after that,
it's just lose though, because like either they take the L on having to admit they fucked up with him and like replace him, right, or they have to let him stay, and then also there's going to be continuous issues within the party because of that. Yeah,
and I mean, they're talking about because they've got very slim margins right now in the House and Senate, and at this point, you're already working uphill, because obviously that's just the way politics works. Going into a midterm with a president, the parties usually kind of do flip a little bit, because that's just the way American politics works. Like, oh, I hate you, so I'm going to vote for them. And it just flips back and forth, ad infinitum.
Oh, more so than ever, it's like spite motivated, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
What I don't like is more powerful than what I want.
Trump held it together okay. I mean, the 2018 losses weren't great. We could have done better. I said earlier today, we were talking about the infrastructure thing, and I think Trump fumbled the bag real hard with that. He should have gone infrastructure before tax cuts, But I think the Koch brothers had a lot of say in that, and a bunch of, love Trump, big Trump guy, but he surrounded himself with the worst fucking people possible,
Right.
and that's.
And I can't help feel like sometimes it was kind of a bid for further legitimacy, right? Like in a way to surround yourself with certain people who could have possibly themselves be considered part of the swamp, so to speak. Like
Yeah.
it was unfortunate, but at the same time, yes, I know there's a lot going on that we're not privy to, and that there's a whole game you have to play, and it's hard to say what the alternative could have been or whatever without having been in that position.
All right, listen, I'm tired of talking about politics. All right, Let's talk a little bit of culture. How you feel about that?
Oh, I mean, I'm a cultured guy.
No, you're not. Have you seen AOT? Have you seen the new episode of Attack on Titan?
Oh, like I watched since it restarted? No, I have not yet.
Have you seen the OP though?
Yes, yes. For the viewers, yes, we.
This fucks so hard.
Yeah.
God. Oh. Now, obviously, we have a lot to say here because. All right, so for the next 5, 6, 10 minutes, we are in full spoiler modes for Shingeki no Kyojin, aka Attack on Titan.
Cover your ears if you really care.
If you are not caught up on the manga, it's finished. So if you haven't read all of it,
imagine not reading.
Stop listening now. But knowing what we okay. All right, full pause. Knowing what we know about how the show ends, this loses so much impact.
Right.
Because there's all these scenes of Eren looking so badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you come up here in a second. Where is it? First off, the rumbling still looks awesome as hell. The rumbling, no matter what happens, will always be badass as hell.
Right, it was cool when it happened.
Beyond any doubt. The rumbling is cool as shit. Right. But trying to make Eren look so cool, knowing what we know now, which is obviously that at the end he just completely cucks out. He hard cucks.
Right.
Like this right here, it's like, oh, I'm so badass. But it's like, no, you turn into a big fucking cuck.
Right.
Now, obviously, you have people like this who have just gone full coat mode, saying, there's this scene and this scene and this scene. I haven't watched this video because this dollar store Giga, his voice irritates me. But apparently they're trying to dissect the OP and trying to claim that there's going to be an anime original ending, which has been the source of copium for a lot of SNK fans for a hot
This
minute.
Is my last cope.
This is my cut my nape into pieces. This is my last cope.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look, I would love for that to be the case, but I would be shocked if that was actually what happened.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've talked about what the fuck happened. Like the mangaka of Shingeki no Kyojin was obviously top tier. He's really good, but at a certain point, I don't know if he started losing it or maybe he just. We don't know what the fuck.
I saw actually on A recently. I saw there was kind of a interview with him going around where he kind of it sounded like he was admitting that he kind of gave up at the very end almost.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the context of it might be, but certainly feels like
to piggyback on that. From what I've read in a lot of cases was that it was heavy editorial interference. I don't know what kind of pressures he was getting from his manager or not, but I know that in the later years of the popularity of Shingeki no Kyojin, obviously Twitter being more popular, and he got a lot of shit about being a hard right nationalist, which even by Japanese terms, he was pretty hard right nationalist.
Well, I don't think that was ever really his intent to be that way, but
yes, but it definitely came across that way because Eren, the good guy of the entire story, all of a sudden becomes a hardcore and isolationist genocider.
Which, I mean, the context there, of course, being that when you start to understand the future because you have the power to do so, that's going to change you as a person as well, right? It's going to make you a little bit more assertive because you already know how it ends.
Yeah, obviously. Now, of course, again, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it. The way it does end is That was a handoff to you.
Was it? Well, okay. So I mean, after the whole thing comes to a head, right? It's where the anime is right now, where the Marley, the enemy nation, kind of the antagonists of the story, are kind of striking back prematurely because they want to try and avert the rumbling that they think is going to happen shortly, because they know that Eren and his brother have been conspiring something. And eventually, through a series of events, it does begin. Like I said, this is spoiler time, so don't be shocked. It does begin. There's a whole kind of
I don't think saying the rumbling is going to happen as a spoiler when literally the entire OP is showing.
But I just mean to say it's going to get worse from here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backstory related to how the tie-ins began, and also why Eren shifted so dramatically after the time skip, right? And basically it comes out, okay, he actually knows the future, and he's kind of able to interact through a weird confluence of his abilities, also kind of altered the past by using that kind of timey-wimey bullshit to also have appeared to his father in the past. And so there's a whole bunch of bullshit. Read it if you care. But
and honestly, the backwards time shit was a little bit where we started going, what? Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this?
I gotta say, up until that point, I was totally on board. I thought that that stuff was actually handled really well. Like when you sit down and you look at, like, it'd be too much for me to explain all right now, but when you sit down and look at it, the way that the actual interactions go through, I think it's actually really good. I think that the precise peak of the story was right after that, when, like I said in chat the other day, he goes and kind of frees Ymir, right? The progenitor of the Titans or whatever. And she gets all emotional and then grants him the ability to initiate the rumbling and stuff. Like that panel was great. And then the moments after that where he's like saying, yeah, I'm totally gonna fucking destroy the world now, like that was cool too.
Yeah,
that was basically the peak of it. And then after that it started falling off. Like we're saying, the rumbling no matter what was gonna be cool because it's just visually it was cool, but the actual writing around that with the human characters after that point declined pretty rapidly. And that's where you got the weird shit where people were calling them, the people trying to stop him, the Avengers and so forth. And so eventually they catch up to him, and they catch up to him, and they actually succeed in stopping him. And the takeaway is he let himself be stopped,
right?
And in a way totally contradictory to what the story had been kind of hammering to that point, where it was like, okay, so you don't have to go to this extreme to actually ensure survival for your people. You don't have to go to this extreme to protect what was heavily hinted to be his future child with Historia, right? Like that was heavily implied to be the kind of ship they were going with there.
Right.
And then they walked it back and nothing came of it. And they then later said, oh, also Ymir wasn't a victim of an ancient king or whatever per her backstory, but rather she was in love with this guy, and like she was just so conflicted over her love for him. Well, like that was like basically like the takeaway. And then of course they turn Eren into a bitch who actually loves Mikasa and like doesn't want her to be with anybody else. That's the famous panel of him sitting down, like fucking like Cheems below fucking Armin getting monged. And it's just really embarrassing how it all goes from that point. It's just, it's terrible. And it's just such a harsh reversal. Like, I mean, I always knew the possibility there was that, like, the possibility was there that he wouldn't go full genocide outright, like unapologetic, like a lot of people really wanted it to go. But to the degree to which they walked that back and made it pathetic was like jarring, right? Like it wasn't just, oh, we're not going to commit to the LARPy shit you want to happen. We're like gonna specifically almost go out of our way to embarrass the people who wanted that. Yeah. Like they humiliate their main character almost for almost no reason. And that's where it gets weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It that was the point where it did start feeling like it stopped being not caring and it started being like you're going in the opposite direction with it.
Right. And that's where it gets into like what was the name of the director of Evangelion?
Oh God, I don't know.
I don't remember his name, but I remember he had a specific line about how he specifically wanted to hurt his viewers, right? And of course that series has always been divisive in some ways.
Yeah, like then he came back and redid the ending twice. So
right. So it kind of reminds me of that, both in that it feels almost like Isayama wanted to hurt us with the weird change of pace, and also similarly, I think more likely than an anime original ending now, we might get in future years, because this has been such a big franchise, them
Yeah.
going, oh yeah, remember that series you loved, but the ending was shit? Now we're going to release the amended ending for the people who want that, right? Like I can see that being
Yeah.
how they do it instead.
Well, didn't they sort of already do that, because there's like an omake version of the ending, right? That I don't know if it's actually come out yet or if it did, but it doesn't, it kind of expounds upon the ending and leaves it open-ended.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I don't know if I've actually read that yet, because after like just the initial release of the ending, I was so put off. I was like, I'm just fucking dropping this now. Like, I mean, I know I just finished the series, so there's not really anything to drop.
There
but I
was
was like,
something
I don't
else.
care
There was like another. It wasn't like. It wasn't a redo of the ending. It was just like a supplement to the ending. That's why I said omake. To the ending, but I think it like left it open ended. It was like, you know, did that happen? You know, it's hard to explain. I can't remember it exactly, but
well, yeah, I mean, and again, I didn't read that part, but if it was something like, well, you know, we are dealing with a character that can actually manipulate fucking memories and shit at this point, right? Like, if you wanted to, or at least people think you can, like, then then I guess a lot of things are possible, right? Like, is it kind of like a Lotus Eater dream bullshit situation where it's like they're all just experiencing a collective delusion? You know, like, I guess that's one way you could cope with it. But
yeah, I mean, that would, and you know, that would even be interesting, as that you come back for like a movie, or, you know, in the style of Evangelion, you know, end of Evangelion, end of Titan, you know, kind of thing, and go like, you know, oh, hey, remember all those memories we have about everything that, you know, like, because what happened, like, to put it in brief terms, what happens after the rumbling and after he cucks out is essentially Paradiso gets invaded anyways, and there's a huge war, and they get turbo cucked, right? Like,
I mean, not everybody dies, but it's not great, right? Like, I think the whole idea being that like they buy themselves some years, right? But in the future, well, I think it's one of those things where like I don't recall. Again, I kind of checked out at this point, but like I remember it like skips pretty far into the future, right? And it seems like they successfully kind of modernized and bought themselves enough years, right, before the world cared about them. It seems like kind of a situation where at the end, and kind of actually in line with how they changed the story too, it's like a weird kind of global homogenization type thing taking place, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, like it became more okay over time just because everybody just kind of became one people, right? Which is a dumb cuck out. But
yeah, again, that's its own little stupid.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that weren't ideal about. Now, I do think though, yeah, the whole the ending was an illusion thing would be interesting. I think that primarily being on the basis that while he did see eradicating the rest of the world is necessary to secure a future for his people, so, or whatever you want to call it, right? like that part could have been something that he actually did go through with.
Yes. And then also, the Jushi words, yes.
Yes. And then also his desire to actually keep his friends alive, despite the fact that they're trying to stop him. Maybe the whole ending was an illusion because it was like, it was a way to make it so both they could cope with failing at that task of stopping him, right?
This is getting into like World of Warcraft level like coping.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But like,
when you started saying that, I immediately started thinking of, again, we're getting into deep nerd territory. So sorry if you were here for politics, that's over.
Well, it's a variety show.
It's a variety show, so we got a lot going on. But it reminds me at the end of the N'Zoth raid, obviously, when it was like we just like literally Wrathion just like Kamehamehas him, and it's like, wait, that's it? And it was like, oh no, we're actually, because we're inside his mind, he made us think that, and blah blah, and just all this shit. And there was even like coping to the level to like, now that people I think are trying to say like, oh, Shadowlands sucks because it's like it's a parody that N'Zoth has created. We're still like in his mind. It sounds like, baby.
Yeah, that's a little far. And you know, and to debunk out what I was just saying actually about like theorizing about, oh, it was an illusion or whatever. Like, yeah, you could say, well, maybe it was a way to make everybody okay with the actual outcome. That was a lot more grim, right? Like, you could say that, but I think that that's really unlikely, considering that despite his changes in the post-time skip thing, I think his original convictions were there, and he hates like people kind of being under slavery, right? I don't think he would want to basically like brainwash the whole world the way that the King Fritz did when he founded the island, right? Like, I don't think he would want to do this. I don't think he would be okay with doing the same thing. So I think that's an unlikely explanation.
Right.
I think the more likely thing is just the writing fell off really hard.
And the other cop out at the end of it that I hated was like his sacrifice was completely undone by like, he's now a fucking bird or something. Allegedly. Allegedly. It's hinted at heavily that Eren is just a pigeon now. Which, of all the animals you could be, pigeon's the one that you don't want to be.
there's a lot of subtext there, but
No.
but anyways, also what was hilarious about that was that for months ahead of the actual ending, there was like a weird schizo post made by like some like English second language person that's saying like poorly translated, like Ellen becomes Dove or something. Like that was like a line from it. Like it fucking came out to be true. Like,
yeah, that's Dove. That was it. Dove. It was a Dove.
like the fucking stupidest thing that everybody memed about for months actually ended up to be the actual. And I don't know if this person actually somehow did have access to the real ending early, or if they just got really lucky with their prediction, which can happen. But
that's such a like a very specific thing.
Right. It's just. It's frustrating, you know. I mean, it's just a story at the end of the day. It's there's been plenty of stories that end frustratingly, but it does suck when there's also plenty of stories that end great. Yeah, you know, like nobody bitches about how the Lord of the Rings ended.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's the greatest of all time.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like it's possible to write a good ending. It just seems like lately, a lot of popular kind of
actually, I would even go as far
as
say, Lord of the Rings had the perfect ending. Because not the movie version. Well, it's okay. But the book version, obviously, the Scouring of the Shire, they come back, and it's like, the point was, like, you can never, like, and that was the point of The Hobbit, too. It's like, once you've gone through an experience like that, you can never really come home. Right. You know? Like, it's never really, really home again. And obviously, that was in a lot more literal sense when they came home, and, you know, of course, unbeknownst to them, while they had Sam and Frodo and the other two fuckwads had been off, the Shire had been taken over by some of the swarthy like northern men, and I don't know if actually orcs were there. I think it was just the swarthy like men, under the control of Saruman, and like the Shire is literally changed, and of course that was his allegory for how Europe changed after the war. Which we all know was, you know, that was a huge issue for Tolkien living through the war. Yeah. But yeah, you know, and they get in, then it's another great little story, and then you know, and then of course Frodo goes off to the Undying Lands with Gandalf, but yeah, no, I don't like that's a good ending.
Right. Well, and it also kind of refers, like, it allegorically also refers to the toll that bearing the ring would take on him, right? The whole idea being that both, even just with like the immortals, like the elves, right, they would eventually grow weary in Middle Earth and have to go to the Undying Lands. Right. Also, on top of that, bearing the ring kind of created a similar condition for Frodo, as I understand it, right, where like it kind of made him weary within Middle Earth, and so to be done with his quest, right, like he couldn't go home again, and without there being the same state there that he was used to.
Well, his was being stabbed by the Wraith with the Wraith dagger. So that, like, it never healed because it was an injury from like outside their, you know, realm of reality or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, he could never fully, while in the Living Lands, could never fully heal. So yeah, he had to go. But it was, you know, and then that was the thing, is like, well, now it's up to Sam to carry on.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of other good stuff this season. We'll talk about anime a little bit longer before we get to the last bit. I actually haven't started anything. A couple of these started obviously in December. Shingeki no Kyojin, Kimetsu no Yaiba. What the hell?
Yeah, that'll be good. I'm very excited for that one, actually. That's
obviously, it's called Demon Slayer. It's a lot easier. Yes. Demon Slayer obviously started way back. Yeah, December 5th. Jeez. Whew. Doing a recap of the Mugen Train arc, which was fucking exceptional. Jesus,
it great,
I mean,
it's a great arc.
It really was.
I mean, if there's a series I could praise like throughout, right? Demon Slayer is one of the most consistent series where there's no points where it really drops off. It just it doesn't outstay its welcome either, because I read
it's finished, right?
I read the manga.
Yeah, it finished, and so it had you think it was exceptional all the way to the end.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think some people might say, like, when they were reading it, that the end dragged a little bit, but it was all just one. Spoiler is just the ending is just one really long fight, basically.
Well, I mean, that's not a spoiler. The whole fucking show is one long fight.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm saying, is like the whole show is almost all, so to speak, all gas, no brakes. You know, I mean, like it's well, yeah. Anyways,
with that.
yeah, it's. there's really little downtime in the show, right? And it's not, in contrast to Attack on Titan, it's not trying to make ideological statements or anything like that. It's not about really the complexity of the writing, right? It's just a really high quality battle shonen, right? Like that's all it's trying to be, and it doesn't outstay its welcome. Like, yeah, the last fight's pretty long when you're reading it, but I think animated is going to be pretty like it's going to flow better that way.
Yeah, I think fights almost always flow better in animation than they do in because
it's always predicated upon also the long waits. Yeah, the long waits between chapters, which of course always makes things that seem like they're not progressing fast enough frustrating. But then in retrospect, once it's finished, of course, it's usually fine. The people who were criticizing on that front were the manga readers who, had to experience it week by week. And of course, when it gets adapted into animation, typically, especially fights, are more condensed where you can fit several chapters of manga into one episode of anime.
Yeah.
So
I've always been shocked by like when people are talking, like you'll see it's like, oh well, how many arcs, how many chapters do we have left? Hey, cool boy Mew, what's up? How many chapters do we have left? It's like, oh, we got like 15 chapters left. It's like, God, that's gonna take like an entire season to talk about anime without me. Nope, you're here, so now we're talking about anime with you. But yeah, it's like, oh, there's like 15 arcs or sections left or whatever. And it's like, God, this is going to take like 3 seasons. It's like, no, it's going to take about 4 episodes.
Right.
It's like, what? How do you, another one that was that way was, I can't remember the name now. The one with the girl that had one leg that I was so big on last year. It was like that one. And they were like, oh, how are they going to get through this? And it's like, oh, don't worry, they're going to speed through it. Because it's just like, yeah. So yeah, no, Demon Slayer, absolutely. Just
Yeah, it's one to watch if you're somebody who's into this stuff at all. It's definitely worth watching. I mean, I think almost everybody who's into anime has seen it, but certainly it's a good one.
To go ahead and just make this whole, I didn't really intend to, but just to make this a whole like winter catch up section of the show. Talking about, I've read this one's really good. What is it in English? My Dress Up Darling. So apparently this is just really good. The main character is a gal, which is great. Inspector, that was it. I couldn't remember it's Shinjo Kyoku or something in Japanese. I can't remember. But yeah, in this apparently, the main character is like a gal. I think there might be some light trap stuff in it. Possibly. But I mean, it's got a great rating, and from what I've read on Reddit, it just fucks.
I'll defer to your opinion on it if you watch it, since that's definitely, I feel like, more your style of anime.
Well, right? I tell you what, I've hit a roadblock for the past couple of seasons where I'm just not really motivated to watch anime, and I think it's partly because no one else really does in the community. Nobody really watches anime anymore. I mean, we watch the big ones, but it's not like it used to be where we would talk about like everything, and it's not just you, it's really everyone in the community in wide
right. Well, and it's like perpetuated too by the whole baby flu bullshit, kind of slowing down development, just like with games, right? Like some things were postponed, so we had a slow time that I think kind of killed some of the momentum.
Right. But apparently this is definitely going to be a segment that I'm going to have to spearhead, but that's fine because this gives me a reason to watch. So that's great. This is supposed to be great. And I tell you what, a Realist Heroes Kingdom Restoration Chronicle. That's not the title that it gives. Yeah, how a realistic hero rebuilt the kingdom.
I misread that when he dropped it down as how a racist hero rebuilt the kingdom. I was like, oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. They actually did. They did a book about that. It was called Mein Kampf. This show, from like a production standpoint, sucks. It's not very well made. It's made by, weirdly enough, it's JC staff who has made decent stuff.
They've also made some dog shit though.
They have they are definitely like an across the board kind of people. Like, yeah, so they've made this. What's something dog shit they've made? I'm trying to look through.
Didn't they do One Punch Man 2?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
That's what I remember them from.
Yeah, you're right. Oh no. I thought wasn't JC staff JoJo too? No,
that was who does that?
Seems
one?
Like
that's David Productions. That does JoJo.
Whatever. I mean, yeah, they've done a lot. Oh, they did the the Index stuff and the Railgun and stuff.
It seems like they're one of those ones that's just a really large studio, right? So they probably have
Yeah.
multiple concurrent teams. So that's kind
Yeah.
of explaining some of the, because some studios you can tell they only have one team, so they literally just do one anime at a time.
Yeah. They've got some stinkers on here. This one I can't remember. It's something about Black Company, I think. I watched this. Oh, Combatants Will Be Dispatched. No, it's something about Black Company. That was okay. It's made by the same guy who did Konosuba, and the guy who does Konosuba literally only knows how to write one story. And he's just no, I'm for real. He's just literally written the same story like 4 times with different characters.
Well, why mess with perfection, right?
And I mean, they keep selling, so if they're buying what you're selling, don't fuck with it. But yeah, Then they put out absolute bangers. They put out Toradora. Oh, they put out the Mommy anime?
I think Flying Witch was supposed to be good. I don't
know. Oh, that was really low rated? What? I see that memed on all the time, but I guess people didn't actually like
it. Sometimes bad animes still produce memes.
Yeah. High Score Girl, that was good. I got filtered, but there was like 3D or whatever. But that's fine. But yeah, no. So that's it's good, but the story is very interesting because it's exactly that. It's a realistic hero. He's summoned into it's an isekai, of course. But it's a little bit interesting. He has no abilities. He has a little bit of magic. I have this plan to watch, but I'm actually watching it. So he has a little bit of magic that he can do. But it's like really shit. Like he can spawn like copies of himself, but they can only like do paperwork or something for him. So it just like speeds up his bureaucratic actions. But the way that
that'd be kind of a strong power in real life.
Oh no, no, I would love ability to let me spawn.
This is just a fucking wagey bitch I could spawn to do my job for me.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of little tedium that I have to do just for this show that if I could have like someone else do it right, it would be great.
Right.
Like if there's another me that came in here and sat down for a minute and like
if you want it done right, do it yourself. And I guess in that case,
exactly. But the story's really interesting. Seeing how he like bullshits his way through like negotiations and trying to rebuild this dinky ass little kingdom, and then it's not one where he's like using a lot of his. Like, he didn't bring anything with him. He has, like, a phone, I think, but that's it. But he does use a lot of, like, modern techniques to, like, modernize the kingdom. And it's doing real well. And it's real interesting. It's very poorly made, or it's very subpar made. It's, like, the animation's kind of dog shit. There's no CGI, thank God. I think that would push me over the edge. But, yeah, that's good. We got Season 3 of Takagi-san, which... It has apparently aired, but it has not. I don't think it's come up on my download thing yet, so I haven't seen that. Sabi Kui Bisco, I slaughtered that. Rust Eater Bisco. This is supposed to be good, and there was something about this. This was done by a notable mangaka, but I can't remember who it is. No. No, I don't know why I thought that. I guess it's because maybe he looks like someone. But yeah, apparently this is supposed to be good. I haven't seen it. Mal thinks it's okay, but you can never really. Even Mal can be wrong about like episodes of the first because Sakugan, which was one from last season, started really strong. Tact OP Destiny started real strong, and then they just steadily went downhill.
God, I watched like none of the shit recently.
Yeah. Let me go back to fall 2021. I think Tact OP Destiny. Yeah, it's down to 7.23 now. It was like 8.23 at the beginning. It suffered the exact same fate that what was that show with the really popular girl? Oh god. Darling in the Franxx. It was the same thing as Darling in the Franxx, where it had this super original like concept. Which, by the way, Tact OP Destiny was not an original concept. When I read the premise, I went, wait, this sounds just like another anime that came on years ago, which was called, I'm not going to find it on here because it's going to be so low on this list. It's not even funny how... Listeners. I don't even have to find it. Listeners. It's the exact same plot. Here it is, Listeners, which is currently rated at 5.37 on Mal. It was dog shit, but it had such a promising premise. And it was just so disappointing. And this was the same. I know this was only 12 episodes. I don't know if it's coming back for a second season. I didn't finish it. Yeah, I mean, look, reviews like 1, 1, 3, 5. Yeah,
Right.
no, it was dog shit. And these are all like towards the end. It just went so far downhill. And I even started noticing production errors on it. Like there's one where okay, so in one scene they're broken down on the side of the road or something. And this main girl, who even looks like Zero Two, by the way.
She does, yes.
Yeah, which I was like, what? And that's bold. She has some magical powers or something. I don't know. Anyway, she takes off after like the monster they're hunting, and somehow seconds later, magically, the tire is changed on their car that was broken down on the side of the road, and I'm like, just 5 seconds ago, y'all had the thing jacked up, and we're trying to put a tire on, and then literally 5 seconds later, you're dry. I know that's such a little minuscule thing, but just shit like that irritates the absolute shit out of me.
How did that Miriko-chan show go? The one where she sees the ghost or whatever?
Didn't watch it. Didn't watch it. Too scary for me. Scary for me. Precon got a second season, which is shocking because apparently it's getting really good ratings. Karoshi, yeah, I think I had that on my list. That's not doing well. That's great. Amazing. Cool. I don't think there's any sleeper hits this season from what I'm looking at. Oh no, this is an anime I think based on the War of, yeah, this is an anime based on the War of Roses from English.
I feel like I might have read about the source material for that once. Apparently it's decent.
I think it's another case of like good source material, bad adaptation. Yeah, 8.11 for the manga. So
yeah, that sounds real familiar.
And who did it? JC staff. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Tokyo 24. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the sleeper hits that I thought maybe these might pop off, they're all garbage. I want to say maybe you're right. I think because I don't know if Japan's still doing like, I know they're under a lot of lockdown stuff, but I don't know if they're doing work from home.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're having a lot of trouble with quality because of that.
It's not just quality; it's also just a lot of no-name bullshit too, right? Like it's just.
Well, no-name bullshit can kind of pop off, but
sure.
The thing
I guess
is, I'm almost happy in a way. Call this a cope, but I'm almost happy in a way because now it's like I don't have to worry about keeping up with like 10 animes a season. I just have to watch like one. Oh, by the way, Vanitas comes back tomorrow, which I'm gonna say I like, but it's definitely, it says shonen, but I mean, yes, it is shonen, but an argument could definitely be made that there's elements of like BL in it a little bit. Because like these two, they are very pretty. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it is definitely like a Fujoshi bait kind of.
Well, I saw the vampire tag, right? So
it's vampire. They're very pretty vampires. They're a little silly sometimes.
Has anybody I would love to see a show where the vampire protagonist is like a fat fuck, right? Like that would be kind of funny.
I know what you mean. But come on, look at these two. I mean, come the fuck on. You know exactly who this is aimed for. Don't tell me this is a show.
Sure.
I would even say it's not really a shonen because there's not even really that many fight scenes in it. There's a little bit of straight shota in it, which is, always welcome. Straight shota, of course, not. It's okay because let's see which one. I don't think you can see him in this picture, but the woman in the straight soda situation has big mommy milkies. So
okay, well that makes it better, right?
Oh yeah, of course. It's got to be your straight soda's got to have mommy milkies. So
right,
yeah. So very light season. Like God, what's next season actually? Oh no, we'll actually talk. Oh, okay. Oh shit, for real? Shield Heroes next season, dude.
I'm mildly excited for it, right? Like I wasn't as hot on that series as a lot of you guys were. Like I thought it was okay, right? Like, but honestly, the most exciting part of that series was at the start when he was all pissed off, and then it kind of got less interesting after that.
Yeah, I did like that there was an actual resolution to him being pissed off. It actually got resolved. Like he got vindication. I liked that. I'm glad they didn't drag it out forever. And I'm not certain the direction they're going with alternate realities or something. That's strange, but whatever. Another season of Kaguyama-sama? That's bold. A lot of sequels this summer actually are this second season, third
Right.
season, second season, third season. Yeah, the first original is whatever the hell that is, Kawaii Dakeja something something. That girl is not just cute. Oh god, this looks like a. Oh no, is this a sad girl anime?
It's
Oh
your
no, is
wheelhouse
this?
right there.
Here we go. A sad girl anime? I don't know. This is one I'm looking forward to. This is another like really cute anime. Small and cute student with quiet voice is quite bad at determining distance and personal. Yeah, it's another one of those like awkward girl guy trying to teach her how to not be awkward kind of things.
Right.
I saw down at the bottom, like no one's even talking about this one's going to be really good. This is the Takagi-san guy
Oh, is it?
who does, yeah, the Isolationist Akane clan composed of an all-girls body, mainly. What? Did fucking the Japanese only write this? These words, these sentences don't even make any sense. The Isolationist Akane clan composed of an all-girls body, mainly consisting of young. Okay, the point is, it's about like little ninja girls, and it's this, it's Takagi-san. It's super cute. He did 3 things. He did this.
Is it potentially funny?
No, just cute.
Okay.
He doesn't do funny. Just cute.
I see.
Yeah, that's not his thing. Or actually, if you dig deep enough, it might actually be. I can't say that for certain.
Right.
I'm actually trying to look because I'm trying to. There's 3. He does 3. Oh yeah, here we go. His name is. Oh, I'm not gonna try and pronounce that. Oh yeah, he does this one, and this is coming out this year too. The Mahjong one, which I think is just like reverse Takagi-chan, to be quite honest. from what I've heard, that's exactly what this is. It's reverse Takagi. He's the bully and she's the bullied one. So again, if you find a niche, exploit it as much as you can. So
yeah, I suppose.
Wait, does he have? Oh wow! So this guy has, of the 3 first seasons of the year, he has an anime in all 3. He has Takagi-san, he has the ninja one, and then he has that one in summer. That's how you get paid, son.
Wow,
that's how you get
impressive.
paid.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting paid, how do you feel about the Kramer meme?
I mean, it's okay. Some of them suck. Some of them are all right. Like there's a couple that have been kind of clever, right? And then for the most part, like any other popular meme format, there's a lot of derivative stuff.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean the comparisons to the Steam Tams format is of course valid.
Yeah,
And-
that's a good one. I'm trying to find the one. This is the one. This is where it peaked right here. This is great. I'm up next year. Wish me luck.
Right.
I love that one. That one's the best of them. There's a couple of good like video game ones. And there's a couple like esoteric ones. I think I just saw one in Wide Boys a minute ago. I'm sorry, I saw it in the Country Club. Here's one.
Mm.
Is this gonna open on the right page? Yeah, it is. Okay. What's going on in there? It's the Demon Core, Jerry. We're gonna die of radiation poisoning. That's a good one. People have been posting a bunch of ones.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like I don't even care when it's kind of not great because it's whatever. It's something to post. I'm not gonna complain if it's a low quality meme. There's plenty of those to go around.
I mean, there have been dumber memes just this year
sure.
that have gotten a lot of traction. Was it me that posted it? Are you Inverse? Because if so, yes.
Pretty sure Cool Boy Mew is a poster I recognize from the Fediverse.
Oh, okay. Then no, I don't know. I don't think I've seen a few on Fetty, but I haven't. Like, I'm not thinking of any from Fetty specifically. Some of these I don't get because there's like some weird references in here.
Oh, I just saw one a little bit ago that I was gonna post, and I think I actually saw it on the Fetty. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh,
it was like a Morrowind one, like a video one. I'll post it.
Okay.
If I can find it.
Yeah, some of these are real good. Oh, there was one. Where did I see it? It might have been on the front page of this. And yes, before anyone asks, I am definitely using Know Your Meme. Fuck you. It's a good site.
It's fine for like, getting all these things gathered in one place.
I like
suppose.
this one's good. What's going on in there? Oh, the red? Yeah, it's Arrakis. By the way, you're gonna need a still suit. The spice must flow, Jerry.
All right,
That's
I posted it in gaming general because it's gaming related.
Okay.
Tagged you on it.
Oh, thank you. That's very handy. Oh, this is a straight up. Webbo.
What's going on in there? That light. Oh, the red.
That's good.
That's right, close.
Yeah, sorry, Oblivion, not Morrowind, but whatever.
That's executive producer Todd Howard. Very nice, very nice, very nice. That's good. That's good. That's good. I think this was one of the first ones I saw about the Klingon Rite of Ascension. I don't get this because I've never seen The Next Generation. I've had a girlfriend, so I wasn't allowed to watch Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah, that's the rule. If you've ever had a relation with a woman, you're not allowed to watch Star Trek.
Like even retroactive? Like
Even
if I watched Star Trek
retroactive,
before? Okay.
Yep. You're invalidated from it. Like it doesn't.
That's unfortunate.
Like I don't even see this, right? So I see the top panel and then the middle one is just blank. And then Klingon Rite of Ascension, but I don't know what the fuck Klingon is. So
Right.
yeah. This one's I don't like that. I like when a meme is subverted, but I don't like when it's subverted, but like the point of it's gone.
I think that one's worse than the other one that was making the same joke.
The other one was much better. This one's good too. A good Lord of the Rings one. What's going on there? It's Balrog, Jerry. Demon in the Ancient World.
Lord of the Rings takes on like any sort of meme format are usually pretty good.
Yeah. This is a good one too. What's going on there? One of us is the Thing, Jerry. Like I like that because Kurt Russell in his winged hair and mustache or thing never bothered Star Trek, but it's because it never aired in France back then, or French. I say France, but I don't know. Could be French Canadian. That is actually interesting.
I thought it was one of those things that would be syndicated and like.
What's going on there? I think I'm the one, Jerry. I saw a really funny one. Oh, what's going on there? I saw the Arby's sign. By the way, we're gonna have an Arby's sign at the Wyatt Ranch. Here's the one. Here's the one I love so much. This is the best one. Kramer, what's going on in there? I have the first fucking clue, Jerry. That's, yeah. I mean, it do be that way. That's funny stuff.
You know, I still haven't actually watched that show.
What, Seinfeld?
No, Evangelion.
Evangelion? Really?
Evangelion, yeah, whatever.
We had like a group watch a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, I do know you, unfortunately. Well, we got through it. Shockingly, somehow we got through it.
Yeah. Just barely.
So this year, So this week we're trying to, like we said last week, every week is gonna be a little different as we kind of piece it together. So we tried fitting in the culture segment this week. I keep want to say year. What the fuck is wrong with me? we slipped it in, just a tip. Sure. The culture segment obviously includes a little bit of meme. I think at the end of the month, I still said we're going to do like an overall political meme review. I think that's still on the books. I'd like to have some more of the boys here for that. I don't know why Kim didn't show up tonight. He's whatever. You know how he is.
He's got important business to do.
Business. Yeah. But yeah, I think it worked well. Definitely the anime thing definitely made me think I actually have to watch the animes before I talk about them.
Yeah, well, maybe that'll be our bit. We just talk about anime without watching them. Like,
what we might do is kind of as I watch them, we'll talk about them.
Sure.
Or we could do maybe one at the end of the month and kind of talk about them. That would be good too. I don't know. Like I said, I've really just lost the incentive to watch anime. I was only watching them because we were doing like the Wide Boys watch along, and after I stopped doing that because BTTE died, I just stopped watching. I just stopped. Why? What was the last one you even watched like all the way through?
Oh god, the last thing I watched all the way through. What was the last anime I watched? I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I really sat down and watched one.
Yeah, it has been because I mean, like we haven't even discussed anything in a long time.
It's actually really hard for me to remember what it was. I know. Okay, so as far as like, I know, I watched the movie for Made in Abyss. Right, that was good. But like, I'm the only person in the fucking. Well, there's one other person or two other people maybe who read it or watch it. But like, for the most part, people in our group aren't super interested in that series. And as we know, it's also controversial with some people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that was good. And I can't really remember watching anything after that.
Holy shit. Stop the presses. We have breaking news here. We have breaking news here on the beef stream from Election Wizard at Election Wiz on Twitter. Fox News, disgraced attorney Michael Avenatti claims prison officials only let him read Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal. I want that to be real. I want that to be true so bad. I want that to be true so bad. I know it's not, but it could be. I mean, Avenatti is just like a confirmed liar.
Right.
But that has to be so funny. I mean, that has to be real. Actually, Election Wiz has posted a couple of interesting things today.
Yeah. They've been. I hadn't seen them until recently either. They seem like they've kind of recently emerged as far as like accounts that cover the shit go. I don't know if they've been around for a while or what, but I haven't seen those.
Actually, there's a couple of interesting things here we can talk about. So, okay, I was trying to dial the show down.
We have I was gonna say we also have a anime recommendation from Cool Boy Mew to watch. Review Starlight.
I've had people talk about that before, but I don't know about that.
Huh. I'll look into it.
I don't really. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I don't really know what that's about, but as long as it's not Vivi, I'm fine. Vivi might be fine, but Rizzo talked about it so long that I just don't care anymore. This is funny. Daily Mail, Kamala Harris is considering more TV interviews with her new team of aides, hoping it will help resuscitate Democrats' faith in her after a series of low polls and blunders. Honey, it ain't the interviews. It ain't the interviews that's dragging you down, okay?
But in their minds, especially if they're thinking about, 25th Amendmenting him, that could be kind of their play to say, oh, we're going to shine more of a light on her and kind of acclimate people to her being the voice they're hearing.
Yeah. God, dude, is there anyone worse than fucking Ethan Klein? Look at this fucking years ago, I interviewed Jordan Peterson before I was very familiar with his politics. He was an interesting guest who I enjoyed sitting with, but especially now I can see he's a dangerous gateway to all right, transphobia and COVID misinfo. I removed both interviews. I hate this dude so fucking much.
That's such a stupid fucking cuck out way to approach things. You already did it. Just own it. You don't have to agree with somebody to have interviewed them in the past,
Yeah, and this guy, the first reply is so eloquently put. Yes, it's advice in your podcast with him, which focused on bettering your life is truly dangerous stuff. It doesn't matter what he went on. That's the thing with these people. They can't compartmentalize it. It's they read something that's oh, that's good info, and then they dig through and they go, sorry, you once said something mildly offensive 14 years ago.
Right.
That 14 years ago was literally being said on broadcast television. Sorry. Not gonna.
Which also the point about Jordan Peterson's advice being about bettering yourself is kind of funny. Also in light of the whole comments on Joe Rogan he was making, right?
I'm just gonna about bettering yourself. I'm just gonna blow up his avatar there real quick and let that speak for itself. Fucking fat piece of shit.
God, he is the worst.
And the context, of course, with who loving it so much,
right? Well, it doesn't help that people who we feel have gone down a wrong path are into him now.
He's bait for low IQ individuals who have
or 115s, right? At best.
Yeah, he's bait for 115s who can't form opinions on their own. Oh, I shouldn't do that. That reveals my green screen.
Well, and that's a trend that we noticed with our guy, right?
Yeah,
the one that we're referring to.
I don't know if you were ever in our calls where I was talking about stuff, and he would start talking about something he believed in. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's a new belief of yours. Why do you believe that?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know. Just do." And I'm like, if you don't know why you believe something, someone else has done it. And he never understood that concept. Well, he never understood the concept that whatever he thinks may not be original
opinions
to him.
Based on consensus, right? They need the sense of consensus to actually feel good about what they believe.
Yeah.
And then it leads to that situation, right, where they're individually on the spot and they can't really talk about the basis for that belief. It's just because other people that they have deemed acceptable sources believe that.
Yeah. God, fucking. And so it's because it's such an appeal to authority that no one, no matter how close a friend or whatever they may be, can pull them away from it. Now, obviously, in our person's case, it was because of the Yoko Ono type situation that's going on. So, pussy spoke a lot louder than friends, obviously, which, hey, many such cases, by the way, such cases.
Happens to the best of us, I suppose.
A story literally as old as time.
Yeah.
By the way, I just noticed iBroadcast is an extremely low bit rate. I gotta fix that.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I saw those 3 things on Twitter. I thought I'd bring them up real quick before we close it out. Yeah. Like I said last week, Beef Stream's gonna evolve over time. Gonna be people coming in and out. It may, 1 week it may just be me and the old boy here. Next week it might be 5 people again. Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen?
And actually, I'd like to mention this while people are watching. If there's ever somebody who's watching who feels they have a really interesting thing to talk about, like, I'm not opposed to hearing suggestions or having special guests on if people have like a piece that they want to say, right? Like if people are listening and they want to get on and talk about something that's compelling to them, then we could possibly make room for that. And we're happy to have more content.
Like by summer, I would like to be bringing in like outside of the Wideverse kind of guests in. I've said for a long time I'd love to have Graph on. I think that
certainly there's some characters there that I'd
like to have SJW on, but I think he'd be the least likely because he seems pretty like, OPSEC.
Right.
Which is
but ironic. I mean they can use a pseudonym and they can, we're not going to require any real information about these people.
I still think it's so funny that fucking a tiny, like, you start up this tiny ass little site on a tiny ass little section of the tiny ass little Fediverse, and the first person we've come across lives in my town of 10,000 people.
Yeah. Small world.
That is crazy. Anyway.
But anyhow, yeah, since I just want to get that out because I know people watching now, and it's like, hey, maybe
it's an open source podcast, if you would.
They hear live or they see the VOD later and like, oh yeah, I actually have something really interesting to talk about. I don't care if it's fucking crazy, and I don't care if we'll disagree with it as long as it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, definitely crazy is good. Crazy is great. Now, obviously, we do stream we stream on DLive and then we stream on YouTube. So there are some things that YouTube probably wouldn't appreciate us talking about, but YouTube can go fuck themselves.
Well, I make an effort here, and we both.
I can say that now because we're not live after.
Right. At this instance, we're not live there, but also,
so right now I can say fuck YouTube.
Right.
Fuck Susan Wojciechowski or whatever the hell her name is. She looks stupid. I'd like to slap her in her dumb blonde bitch face. Please don't ban me.
But also, as far as avoiding any bops there goes, just if you can avoid saying any sort of just super obvious slur or whatever, I think that's kind of the main thing.
Words, yeah, we're trying to avoid that.
Like, I have no ideological issue with those things, by the way. We just so people know, we are totally fine with people saying whatever they want. But yeah, for the ability to actually
play by the rules of whoever
for the ability to host things right on places. Speaking
of hosting things,
yeah,
Prude, where can the good folks people show your socials?
Well, the only one that I'm really going to shill here is beefyboys.club, which is, of course,
that's crazy you mentioned that. I'm looking right here at the stream. What's this big graphic I have here on the screen when my monitor's not on? Beefyboys.club. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the Fediverse instance that
that's Fediverse.
I quote unquote
run. At Prude on Beefy Boys. I'm Taylor Swift on Beefy Boys. That pseudonym doesn't really make sense anymore, but whatever.
Well.
We'll figure that out later. Of course, if you're still a Tweety boy, he's Turfcat. I'm Tyler Beckham
_cat.
Yeah, Tyler _Beckham because I don't. Here, hold on. Who has the Tyler Beckham account? Hold on, I want to see this. Tyler Beckham. Guy whose tweets are protected from Canada, who has 1 follower. Great, definitely. He definitely needs that handle and not me. Very cool. Oh, I don't have it on screen. There you go. So great, amazing. Our podcast stream on Twitter at the Beefiest Boys again because the Beefy Boys was taken, which I think that was an account that hasn't even been used like the Beefy Boys. Hasn't been used since like 2013 or
By the
something.
way, in terms of search engine optimization, if you search the Beefy Boys, aside from like
Oh,
the main thing is there's
hold
there's
on.
like a place.
This wasn't what the handle was like last time I checked.
Yeah.
It's now a restaurant in the UK. The Beefy
Yeah,
Boys.
that's what I was gonna say. That's if you Google our brand for the Beefy Boys, that's the only thing really ahead of us in like optimization there, and it's kind of funny. I mean,
Is a
fortunately,
restaurant?
it's a restaurant in the UK, and food looks decent actually. But
It does actually. What is it, just Beefy Boys?
Luckily they're in the UK, right? So that averts certain issues that we could have.
This was it. This was the one. The guy that has Ed Beefy Boys, I don't think has tweeted since
Which
2010.
interestingly, this guy is also referencing restaurants in his bio there, huh?
I mean, it makes sense. Beef.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I wonder if I could send him a message and be like, "Will you give me that handle for $5?"
If he's not using the account, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's a decent.
I could eat that.
But yeah, I don't think I have the thing. I don't think I have stuff linked in DLive. I do on YouTube. But yeah, it's all linked at the bottom. We got our new public Discord. It's good. We're gaming. I think there's some people gaming in here right now. They're playing Ready or Not.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Anything else you got?
Well, just of course, just so people know. I mean, we're trying to do this at the same time every week. The time might change over time, but for now, we're doing it at
I'm
8 p.m.
I'm comfortable with 8.
8
What
p.m.
about you?
Central. Well, 8 p.m. Central. Yeah.
Yeah.
6 p.m. PST if you're West Coast like I am.
I'm comfortable with it. It gives me plenty of time. I don't know if it's a little early for you.
Like, I mean, for me, it's like if it started like an hour later, it would be fine. But usually by this time of night on a Friday, things are good.
Yeah, we might. Because obviously one of our streamers in White Boys streams at the same time, so it might be good to not overlap. We might think about doing it at 9. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everybody for comments. Thanks for staying with us throughout the fucking technical difficulties. I don't know what happened there. I guess the lesson learned is restart Windows
Every now and
when
then.
it asks you to, because it will just fuck up. So, all right, that's it. Everybody gets to see our new outro screen this week. So,
Exciting.
see y'all next week.
Bye.
No, fuck you. I'm not taking the Linux pill. Fuck you.
We are going to make our country great again. We are going to make